Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. So today we are going to be talking about a topic that I think many of us struggle with from time to time, and that is how to actually change your life, or how to glow up in all areas of your life, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, socially, and as weird as it sounds, digitally. This is actually a spin-off of a blog post that I did, How to Glow Up in 30 Days, and that will be linked down below in the description if you want to check it out. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Let's start with the physical. My first tip is to create an exercise wheel. Pick out a few activities that you genuinely like doing. It doesn't have to be what everyone else is doing. It can be dance, learning TikTok dances, going on walks, and put these down so you have this little wheel of exercise to rotate through depending on what you're feeling that day. And this will just ensure that you're staying active but also genuinely enjoying what you're doing. My second tip is to have a life admin day, and this one is such a lifesaver. So throughout the week, every time you think of something that you have to do but can't do at the moment, just write it down in your notes, and then on the weekends, pick half a day or even just an hour to power through all these little things and get them done so they're no longer on your mind and in your life. The third thing is to do a purge for all things that steal or dim your confidence. This could include clothing, decor, accessories that just no longer make you feel that good. And this doesn't even have to be a wasteful process. You can end up donating the items, you can resell them on an Instagram account or an app, or you can even gift them if they're in the proper condition to be gifted. Number 4 is to properly plan and to find a planning system that works for you. And this is different for everyone. For me, I like to just write down the things without assigning an hourly time to them because that kind of stresses me out. But I'll just see what I have to do for the day, and that works for me. Now, what's a video without plugging the planner at least once? So my friend and I created a mental health focused planner. It's all digital, or it could also be printed out for physical use, and it will be linked down below in case you want to grab your own copy. I use it every day. Now let's move on to mental and emotional. So the first thing is to give yourself intentional time to rest and be kind to yourself. Going on your phone between your classes just to reply to a friend's text isn't resting, and neither is procrastinating. Set aside time for yourself to actually rest without worries and with a time limit, so you know how long you should rest and you can just fully enjoy that time. As for being kind to yourself, one of my favorite tricks is that every time you feel your negative self-talk coming, just take a step back and ask, would I respond to my best friend in this way? For example, if your best friend tells you, I'm so tired, or I just did really bad on a quiz and I'm feeling pretty bad about myself, would you say, well, that doesn't matter, get back to work? Or, yeah, you did bad, you're a failure? No, you wouldn't. So why would you do it to yourself? The next tip is to invest in yourself. And this is not just in the form of buying expensive things for yourself, even though if that floats your boat, go for it. But that includes just educating yourself and then becoming the best version of yourself. This also includes just learning to enjoy your own company and enjoy spending alone time. To be honest, I'm a pretty big people person. I love spending time with people, and I struggle with pretty bad fear of missing out. And it wasn't until I had this conversation with one of my friends that it really just opened me up to a whole new perspective. So I asked her, don't you get lonely when spending time alone? Like, don't you want to hang out with people or just be surrounded by people? And she told me that if I can spend time by myself, why would I want to spend it with others? And this isn't in an arrogant way or anything. It's just really realizing your self-worth and realizing that spending time alone isn't the end of the world and that you are your own best company. Another way to invest in yourself is to read self-help books. Even if you don't think you need help, you can always get something valuable out of them, and they're a pretty good source of motivation. And also to listen to podcasts, and I'll show you a few of my favorites. Some of my favorite podcasts include I'm in My 20s, Pretty Basic, But What's Next with Michelle Reed, Kaylin's Coffee Talk, and Coffee and Bible Time. I'm very into the wellness and self-care realm of podcasts, as you can see, and there are also a couple of Christian ones mixed into there. Let me know if you have any recommendations in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the digital glow up. So the first thing is feel free to unfollow or just mute accounts that don't bring you joy. It may seem harmless to just keep following people just because you know each other or because you have mutual friends, but these little things can really add up, and social media can quickly transform into a place of insecurity and unrest. Prioritize your own mental health first. I often do it when I find myself just getting really competitive with other people, and every time I see their stories, I just kind of feel bad about my own life or my own work. So that's a tip that I've implemented recently, and I feel a lot more calm and honestly just happier after that. My next tip is to do a cleanse of your Photos app and any other apps that are just sitting there every few months. If there are photos that you just needed for a class or that you no longer need, feel free to clean those out. And then also apps that you haven't touched in months but are just kind of sitting there, clean those out too. If an app is particularly stressful for you, if the messages are just piling up, do what you need to do. Let people know that you'll be off for a few days, and honestly just take a detox from it and reply when you feel ready to get back into it. Don't force yourself into it. Just prioritize yourself and your mental health first. And lastly, let's move on to the social aspect of glowing up your life. The first tip for social is to evaluate your friend circle, and as cliche as it sounds, quality over quantity. I used to be the type of person who would try to be best friends with every single person who I met, and I realized that that was spreading me really thin, and it was just turning me into this obnoxious people pleaser. It wasn't until I established some boundaries and really distinguished who my inner circle was, then I felt happier and could really focus on myself and other interests instead of just trying to please everyone all the time. So this tip is not to say that you shouldn't be friendly and kind to everyone you meet, but really distinguish who the real ones are and keep them close. The next tip is honestly just to realize how precious your time and energy are. We have a limited amount of time every single day. We have a limited amount of energy every single day. If you're at an event where you don't really even know what you're doing there, or if you're at a hangout where you don't even really feel like being there, just trust me and leave. You always have better things to put your time towards rather than staying and then regretting all the time that you lost and wishing that you left earlier. And the last tip I'm going to leave you with today is a mindset. Whether you're meeting someone new or going into a job interview or honestly just going into any interaction, instead of worrying about will they like me, instead consider will I like them. And again, this is not in an arrogant way, but really just realize your own self-worth, your own self-esteem, that you are worth it, and that you don't have to be bending over backwards all the time to please everyone else. And that is all for today. So a little update on how my life is going. I'm taking 4 classes this term, and honestly this week has been insane. So I had 2 midterms this week, and I also started up on 2 new jobs at the same time, and also going to club events, and then also trying to do the blog and YouTube. So it's honestly been insane, and I cannot wait for this weekend to just finally rest and to study for next week's midterm. But yeah, I really appreciate you being here, and if you've stayed until this point, honestly, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you want to see this video in a blog post form, I'll have that linked down below. And otherwise, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye.